Hey, what's up everybody? This is Jimmy Rex, and on today's daily motivation video, I want to talk to you about one of my all-time favorite quotes, and this is by Abraham Lincoln. And what he said, if you want to kill your enemies, make them your friends. I want you to think about that for a second. It's one of the most beautiful quotes in the history of mankind. If you want to kill an enemy, you don't try to destroy them, you make them your friend, which also kills the enemy at the same time. And it's just one of my all-time favorite quotes. I'll give you an example in my own life where I've had the opportunity to do this, but a couple of years ago, there was a guy that we'd kind of dated the same girl, and he ended up marrying her, and it was also a girl that had dated a friend of mine, and it was a really ugly situation. Long story short, this dude did not like me, and I was really good friends with his cousin, and I was in Lake Powell, in fact, last summer, and I was talking to her, and she said, "Oh, my cousin hates you. Like, if he sees you in an alleyway, he's going to kill you." And this dude is like a former college football player. This dude is huge, and he would kill me. And I remember thinking, I was like, man, I hate that. I don't even know him. I don't hate him. But we'd had such a weird history that I could get why he hated me. And I said, I made it a point. I said, the next time I see him, I'm going to approach him and try to kill him by making him a friend. And wouldn't you know it, on my life, like the next day I get back from Lake Powell, I'm at the gym up in Draper, and I run into this guy. He's working out there, and he's huge. He's like 6'3", 260. I mean, dude's just a horse. And I see him, and I'm like, oh man, I just made myself this promise. I need to do it. And so like, you know what? Damn the torpedoes. And so I just walked straight up to the dude. He's doing a leg press. And I said, hey man, Jimmy Rex. Talked to him for a second, and he's kind of like, yeah, okay. He was kind of confused at first, but and he was friends with several of my friends. I knew he was a good guy. We'd had this history, and it was just needed to be done. And it was so funny because I talked to him, and I liked him. And he was kind of hesitant at first to let me kind of talk to him even, but I could tell that he kind of really appreciated it at the same time. And he's like, cool, man, all right. And so then the next couple of weeks, I'd keep seeing him in the gym. We'd have little conversations. And now I actually work out with this guy 2, 3, 4 times a week. He's one of my close friends and total stud. He's literally one of the coolest guys I've met. And I just think to myself, like, I would have never had this relationship, this friendship, if I would have harbored my feelings or let him harbor those feelings towards me anymore. And it just reminded me of that quote by Abraham Lincoln: if you want to kill your enemies, make them your friends. And it's such a powerful, powerful opportunity we have. And a lot of times when we don't like somebody, so you know this, it's usually because they're very similar to us. And those people will end up becoming your best friends if you give it an opportunity. I did the same thing about 10, 12 years ago. I had a buddy, and I'd been on a date with this girl, and he got her phone number while I was on the date. And come to find out, we have all these mutual friends, and it was pretty bad. I can remember one time we were going into to watch Spasmatics up in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's like a club. And I had been friends with the bouncer, so I got 7 or 8 of my friends. And I remember when I came to him, I was still mad at this guy because, I thought he'd kind of try to move in on my territory. And I said, he's a friend, don't know him, don't let him in. And I totally, obviously knew who he was. Anyway, and that whole night it was kind of eating at me. I was like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why do I hate this guy so bad? He might not even know I hate him. It was very clear that night, like we weren't going to be friends. So I decided I was going to write him a message on Facebook. Same thing. I said, you know what, man? Here's why I don't like you. And I just listed all the reasons. I said, that being said, I'm open to there being another side to this story. And I said, for what it's worth, so-and-so and so-and-so said you're a really cool guy. Hopefully we can, be friends one day. He wrote me right back. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, dude. My side of the story, I didn't know you were on a date with her. She said she wasn't dating anyone. And it was only like our second or third date. You start to kind of like put it together, and you're like, this guy's not the worst guy in the world. And so we ended up becoming friends. We both were cheering for the same sports teams. We'd run into each other. And he actually became one of my best friends. We were roommates for 4.5 years after that. To this day, he's one of my best friends in the world. And it's funny, when we've been all over the world, we've literally traveled to several different foreign countries. We have had so many memories and created so many friendships and things together that none of that would have come if I would have just instead kept this guy as my enemy. So it's just a couple examples from my life. So think today, who in your life do you just hate? Who do you not like? And I'm willing to bet you any amount of money, if you will take the opportunity to reach out to that person today and turn that enemy into a friend, they will be so grateful to have you as a friend as opposed to an enemy. And who knows, you might end up finding a best friend or a lifelong friend through the process. So again, if you want to kill your enemies, make them your friends.